Alright, boys and girls, so today we're going to craft our first 50 blood rings. Obviously there are different variations in the rings than in the amulets. You don't look for skills, of course. Usually I would say you want either a caster ring with FCR and some decent resistances, MF and life mana, or stats like dexterity or strength, or something like more melee or physical rings where you have again probably FCR, Dual Leech, attack rating, minimum damage and some resistances. And personally I'm looking to replace my terrible rings with something else. You can see here we have like 4 stats, but strength I don't really need, life is not so much, so only dual res, and the same here, I have a little bit of life, dual but quite low resistances and a little bit of MF. So personally, some good rings with MF and resistances will be the perfect result for me here. Alright, let's get into it. And we go with our first batch. Let's look what we can get here. Alright, nothing too great. This will be a little bit harder to assess because you need to pay attention to more stats than in the amulets, but we'll try. Ideally you want to have at least 4 stats to the maximum. That would be something like 4-point ring, that is definitely a keeper. Or majority of the dual leech rings also good. Like this one, wow, actually, oh, look at this, only if lifesteal would have been higher. 96 attack rating, that's decent, 5 mana leech, that's also pretty good. Some strength and some life, okay, and dual res with lightning and poison. Not the best one I would say, but this is definitely a 4-point, or like 3.5, closer to 4 points. Really cool, alright. That's the first, I guess. Let's continue then, maybe that's a lucky roll here. Attack rating with life, okay, and it's only 2 stats. Again, high attack rating, all res, a little bit of life, strength and mana steal. I would say this is too low to keep. What do we have here? Alright, nothing too good as well. One more dual leech ring, but quite low, 3 and 2%, and low attack rating, almost no strength. Alright, that's not a keeper for sure. Another one. And another one. Alright, let me take another batch. Okay, another 20 crafts. Let's go. What do we get here? Not the best. Again, a little bit off. All the stats are too low. Same here. I'll probably argue that hitting a good ring is harder than amulet. Kind of feel like the rolls here matter way more than on the amulets. Yeah, only 10 MF and everything else is low. Here you really need at least like 4 rolls to be super high. Whereas on the amulets, 64 to mana, nah. Whereas on the amulets, if you hit like 210 or 220, that's already a keeper pretty much in most cases. Yeah, you see, the stats just rolling like 1 to 5 or something like that. Again, high on mana, but nothing really else. Alright, I don't want to keep those rings that nobody needs. 10 lifesteal, I think this is a maximum, isn't it? With cold rest, 20 to life and some attack rating. Not sure if this is worth keeping. I'll just put it aside, but then maybe you can comment and tell me if this is really something interesting or not. Okay, let's move on. Our third attempt. Uh-oh, what did I do? You get out, and you get out as well. Alright. Misclicks. Life, a little bit of MF. Minimum damage, attack rating. Maybe if the Life Leech would have been higher. Bonus to attack rating, life and life steal. And obviously light radius, right. Okay. Nothing much here either. And another one. This jewel confuses me. Poison damage. Ooh, and telekinesis. Telekinesis is actually quite funny. Can be used in some occasions. Like checking the lower cuirass chests. High lifesteal, attack rating, mana after each kill, and if dexterity and strength would have been like 15 or something like that, that would have been a really good ring. But it didn't. Didn't roll high enough. Okay, let's move on to our 4th dozen of rings. Not much here. Surprisingly, I don't think we've seen a single ring with FCR. What's going on? Is it such a rare stat or what? Triple res, 2 of them super low and low MF, okay. Not worth it. High attack rating, nothing else. What do I miss? The rune, right. Okay. Finally, first FCR ring with high lifesteal, really low stats and a poison res. No. It didn't try enough. Yeah, here I would say also not really. Attack rating, lifesteal, super low strength, 20 life and fire res. Doesn't really worth it. Doesn't really worth keeping. Again, 10 lifesteal. That's the maximum roll on both stats. And nothing else except like minimum damage and lightning res. Again, it's like kind of bad 2-3 points. Wouldn't do that. This is seemingly a little bit better. Middle life roll, Life Leech is high, a little bit of attack rating and dual res. Okay, that's kind of okay maybe for some melee characters, but nothing too exceptional, I would say. And here is nothing as well. And we move towards our last attempts. These are the last 10 rings we're gonna craft today, okay? Maybe the Lady Fortuna, Lady Luck will be a little bit more towards us. Lightning res and 10 MF and 6 Life Leech. No, that's just 3 points, honestly. I don't think it really makes sense to keep those rings. Same here, even though the strength was high, but everything else was kind of low. Nope. I kind of start to believe that the best way to get rings is to gamble them, because they're quite cheap. High mana and high fire res. Why none of the stats rolled higher then? That's pretty sad. Yeah, I feel like I've seen better rare rings from gambling than from crafting. That's pretty insane. Okay, this one, thanks to the gold find, obviously maximum stamina plus 20 is really good stat as well. But we have 30 lightning res and 20 fire res. I think it's better than one of my rings. Some life leech and a little bit of strength and life. Okay, this is decent. I think the maximum extra gold is 40, so I would say this is decent. If stamina was something else, would have been cool. Alright. Let's move on. Not stall too much on one ring. Nothing here. The last 2 attempts. Dual crappy leech. And finally the last one. Maybe we get something good. FCR, no? Max damage, attack rating, life, no. Alright, let's check the results really quick. Alright, so out of 50 rings that we crafted, I think these 4 are more or less decent. The only one I think is being kind of a 4 point or 3.5, so let's check them out. The number 1, this one is the lowest one. 7 life leech, mediocre attack rating and high fire res. Poison res is usually not so important, so I would rate this one as place 4. Then this Grim Grip with middle lifesteal, little bit of strength, middle life, but then we have dual res of lightning and fire, which is quite high, and also some extra gold from monsters. That's not a bad one, I would say. For example, this could be used, I guess, on the Zealer for Travincal or something like that, so that's not a bad ring at all. Then on the place number 2, and I would say solely because 10% Life Leech, which is the maximum I think on both rolls, maximum 20 to life from the predetermined roll, and very high cold res. A little bit, again, attack rating 59, not too bad. So again, this is kind of close to 4 points, I would say. So yeah, place number 2. And then finally, the Chaos Knot. This one has high attack rating, Dual Leech with mana being good one and life only 1%, but that's alright, I would say. Then 15 to life, which is not such a bad roll, I would say. And high lightning res, high poison res. If poison res was something else, this would have been a really good ring, but well, anyways, so I think this one, thanks to the Dual Leech or Mana Leech, which is usually harder to get on the rings, so that's an interesting one. Alright, this is pretty much everything I wanted to showcase to you today. 50 blood rings crafted, and we didn't get too many good ones. And again, I think it highlights that it's pretty difficult to get a grip on a really good ring. Probably gambling them is still a better option, hoping for rare ones. Anyways, thank you for watching, and check out those previous Caster Amulets crafts if you haven't seen yet. Those were a little bit better in my opinion than these rings. Thank you again, and see you next time.